So there I was, chilling, minding my own business, when I bought this guy. My M1 Garand rifle, right? World War II Nazi killing, fun, perfect rifle. Love this thing. It shoots great. It feels good. But one day I was just sitting there and I was like, oh man, like, how could this get better, right? And I was, looking on the forums, doing my research, and I was like, wow. And sure enough, in World War II Korea, they made a sniper rifle version of this bad boy, right? I didn't want the World War II one. It took way too much time, but the Korean War one, technically it's a little bit over, but that's not the point. That one is easy to do. And I was like, wow, so, I'm saving my pennies and everything come Christmas time. I buy the right parts for it. And I was, so pumped. It would be so cool. But more was to be done. I had to figure out what scope to fit it, right? Originally came with this little 2.2 power nothing scope. I don't know how we won the war with that thing because it sucked. And I was like, nah, I want something better, right? So I'm doing all my research, figuring out, am I going to go modern? Am I going to go Milser? Or something similar? And I was like, after doing a bunch of random research and everything, and I'm a little limited because the clamshell. So when this thing's even built, it's kind of weird. They don't usually make them like this. But it's super long, whereas normally there's like two little thin parts. So I couldn't really use a modern scope with this. I had to use some sort of fixed power vintage one. So I was like, what am I going to do? And I'm spending months just researching various random forums, looking at various cool things. And I was like, wait, what was that? And I look at it. Well, it turns out in the 50s, the United States Marine Corps adopted a Cole Morgan bear cub scope. Right? They had a fancy name for it. Doesn't really matter. Don't really care. But basically, it was a 4-power scope, and these Cole Morgan folks, basically they made periscopes for the U.S. submarine fleet from World War I, World War II, and then later on the atomic fleet. But in between World War II and the atomic era, there was not a lot of submarines to make. The U.S. just using their old WW2 ones. So like, well, let's make some rifle scopes, right? And they made it, and they're super good, very high quality, premium quality. And all the research, I was like, oh yeah, this is the one. Let's go buy one of those, right? And there's a bunch of different types, the Type 1, Type 2, and then later on, because there's the Stith Cole Morgan, there's the Cole Morgan, then there is the Redfield, right? And the Cole Morgan and the Stith, S-T-I-T-H, Stith. I don't know, but what the point is, there's 3 different versions. You don't want the Redfield one because that's lame. And then out of the 2 Cole Morgan ones, you wanted the Stith Cole Morgan because it had just the optics in just the right way where you might be able to make replica Marine Corps turret knobs, but that's not the point. Point is it's close enough, and sure enough, Cole Morgan made a civilian version of their rifle, right? Of the scope, because the Marine Corps original one is like $5,000 for an old beat up copy, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get that. Pulling out, no, thank you. But Cole Morgan made a civilian version, super nice, high quality scope for the 50s. Keep in mind, for the 50s. And I was like, oh, this is the one. I don't need that modern communist crap. No, thank you, China. Holosan, you can keep your deals. And I sit there just waiting for my chance. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm on eBay, I'm on Gunbroker, I'm on various sites, almost getting hacked. And I'm just looking constantly, where's this scope? Comparing to the Riot model. There'll be like this, the Cole Morgan, like the Sith Cole Morgan or Redfield. I'm like, And then finally, a Sith Cole Morgan bear cub scope comes up. I'm like, Nani? And I bid on it. Not knowing how eBay works. Like, I'll put a bid, 5 days in advance, right? And, I put it in for like $150 or whatever. And it looks good. Someone outbids me to $151. I was like, fuck you. So I'll bid him $152, then he goes $153, and I was like, what is this? And then, of course, like 5 seconds before it goes on, I looked all the way to $270. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Got freaking heckled out my shackles. I was like, couldn't believe but never again. So, I'm biding my time, refreshing every day, looking at every single scope. And there's not a lot for sale, right? They don't come up very often, Kings. But one day, another one came up. I was like, no buy now option. Nah, that's not what God wanted. Another bid war, right? I was like, I assumed, because I was dealing with boomers, they wouldn't be read into eBay. But I was wrong. So, I knew if I wanted this scope, I'd have to do my research, right? And sure enough, it already goes from like 50 to 100 to 150 in like a day. And I was like, ugh. So I knew I had to rizz him up something special, right? So there I was, chilling, Googling and everything, trying to figure out the Playboy version of being an eBay Rizzler. And sure enough, people were like, basically what you must do is not be a monkey, don't be a roach, and you need to wait to the very last second and boom, bid, right? Bid your highest you want, you gotta YOLO it, send it, and you'll get what you want, right? And I was like, because I didn't really like how that sounded, but I'm like, well, that's what the eBay Rizzlers say, that's what I'll do, right? So, sure enough, now it's 9 days away, 8 days, 7 days, I wanted to, like, no! I will not. I don't need it. I don't care. 6 days, 5 days, whatever. I'm chilling. I'm cool. But once it gets to 3 days, I can just start thinking about it. I'm dreaming about the scope, how cool it's going to look like on my M1 Garand. Ooh, so cool. My little Springfield rifle. Ooh, man. So I'm chilling. I'm loving it. I'm thinking about it. But I'm like, nah, pull back, brother. Pull back. Love God, love people. You don't need this. Yeah, you don't need this. And sure enough, now it's the final day, right? I'm checking it at work. I'm checking it in my dreams. Always in eBay. Refresh. 7 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours out of work, right? Gotta make some chili. I'm on that slow carb diet. I can't be a fat soldier. Won't pass PT. But it's like 3 hours away. And I'm like, no, don't bid. Don't just chill. Just chill. Remember your training. Jedi warrior. I'm chilling. I'm sitting. I'm relaxing. Right? And now, I make the chili, it tastes good. Now, we're within an hour, right? And once it hits 59 minutes, it sounds kind of down to seconds. It's like, even sweaty starts getting in red font. I'm like, oh no! My girlfriend's telling me some cool stories, like, oh my gosh, it worked today, the cookies was like this, and like, 30 minutes away, right? My girl's still like, she's still talking like, and then Brittany did this and this, and then Trish did this. But then it's like, it gets down to like 15 minutes, 10 minutes. It's more like, and then like once it's 5 minutes away, all I can really hear is like a mist of, and my bun just keeps getting closer and closer. I'm on the bid screen. It's out, wide open, full brightness, Wi-Fi connected. Nothing was going to stop me. Double checked to make sure my payment option was good because I freaked me out. I was like 15 minutes. Like, oh no, my credit card's credit card's fine. Bid's fine. It's cool. And I'm just sitting there with my bid in, right? It was at 170. But as my girl talks, it just kind of goes, can't hear anything, not thinking straight. Boom, 9 minutes left. Oh my gosh, right? And it was at 170, right? Some guy named Billy Boy. He had his bid on. Not today, Billy Boy. I won't be rich again. And it's at 170, right? I'm sitting there, 9 minutes turns into 5 minutes, turns into 4 minutes, and then all of a sudden, someone bids on it. Now it's 177. I'm like, who's bidding on it? It's the last minutes. And my body's like, just send it. Because I'm waiting at 275, and I'm like, oh, that's enough money. It'll be perfect, right? I'm like, just send it early. I know it's 3 minutes, but just send it. I'm like lusty. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, ah. But I'm like, no. Maintain discipline, King. And I wait. I'm like, just in case, let's put it to 284.17. Because you never know. Those 17 cents, that's what the Rizzlers on eBay said to do. So that's what I'm going to do, right? And I'm just waiting there. Someone's bid. Another guy might bid too. And I'm just sitting there waiting, sweating. Now it's 59 seconds. I can feel the adrenaline coming up. I'm sweating, knees weak, palms sweating. I'm like, ah! She's like, no, just maintain this. Because the problem is, if you do it too early and you show them, boom, you bid in, other people will be like, nanny, and they'll start bidding higher, and you'll bid higher. Then all of a sudden, you're going to spend $500 or someone's going to out-rizzle you at the last second. Anyway, so we had to wait 30 seconds left. I'm like, I can't even hear what my girl's saying. I'm like, Cat, silence. It's time to wait. My hands are shaking over the bid thing. I'm like, no, don't forget, don't. And I wait 20 seconds. Freaking out. I'm sweating. 15 seconds. I'm like, go. Click. Right? 284. It starts saying, and then it interrupts like, wait. did you know this is a gun part, and gun parts are illegal in some parts? I'm like, 10 seconds later, accept. It accepts. 5 seconds, you know what I mean? And then, once it accepts, bid is placed. And then, silence. Bid accepted. And then there's this waiting screen, right? And it's like, the bid is done. Calculating results now, right? I'm sitting there, I'm still freaking out. I'm like, oh, did I get it? Is it mine? Did I win? You know? And I look, and it said winning bid was 282, and I'm so sweaty, I thought I'd still bid at 274, and I was like, no, how could this be? And I looked closer, and I was like, wait a minute, 282, wait a minute, I did 284, does that mean I won? Sure enough, refresh. It said I had to refresh it to see the bid, to see who won, boom. The Chadmeister's the winner. I'm like, yes. Oh, it's gonna be so cool. And I look through the bids, right? I see who tried to riz me up. And it looks like the guy who did 177, what his riz plan was, is he bid from 177, he did the low bid, and then his high bid was 277, right? So thank God I bidded 284. Otherwise, he would have rizzed me up by like $5. Like, oh. But he wasn't prepared for my elite eBay skills. And I'll beat him. I outbid him. It's my rifle. I'm going to have me a Korean War almost style M1 Garand. Ooh, going to be so cool, so clean. And I've been perfectly handcrafting this lovely little guy. So he'll be ready when the time comes. And so I went and I was so happy and giddy. I'm like smiling with my girl. I'm like, yeah. You know, freaking out, having a good time. And I was like, wait. And I emailed the guy I bought it from. I was like, give me my scope, it's mine. But seriously, thank you, though, because, you know, I don't want to be rude. But I was really happy. And I was like, please, one request. Don't use USPS, please. Because they're always late. You know, they don't usually break it, but they'll, like, send it to Korea and back. And I'm like, what about them tariffs, son? I ain't got time for that. So thankfully he went with the FedEx boys, and it's going to come in a week or so, and you'll be seeing me with a U.S. Marine Corps-esque replica sniper rifle. More DMR, but that's not the point. It's going to be awesome, Kings.